All right, so let's talk about Quadrant 3 customers now. We've discussed Quadrant 1, which were task-oriented individuals that prefer fast transactions, and Quadrant 2 customers that were also task-oriented but needed a slower transaction, the processors. Now we're down here in Quadrant 3. They prefer slow transactions, but they're people. I call these folks the donut bringers. You're all nodding your heads. We all have one, don't we? And sometimes we have one or two. These are the individuals that come walking in with that box of donuts at least once a week. And what do they want to do? They want to talk. They want to tell stories. They're definitely storytellers, right? They need a lot more information, mostly because they want to engage. And they may process a little bit more slowly than Quadrant 1 or Quadrant 2. Think about why maybe you dread seeing this individual coming. See, I used to ask my groups in my seminars, what do you consider a good customer and what do you consider a bad customer? And Quadrant 3 individuals invariably ended up as an answer for both questions. Because some love to see them coming with the donuts or the bagels, and then others dread seeing them coming because they take up an inordinate amount of your time. They ask a lot of questions. They tell far too many stories. They question every line on the bill. And it's painful, isn't it? Especially if you're yourself a Quadrant 1 customer. Quadrant 3 customers, along with Quadrant 1 customers, they can clash. But I encourage you to think about Quadrant 3 customers in this manner. If they're showing up at your establishment with the donuts or the bagels or whatever they bring, or just themselves, and they're carrying on a conversation and spending a lot of time in your waiting room or a lot of time talking to you at the counter, I promise you, you're not the only place they're doing that. They're doing the same thing on the golf course. They're doing the same thing at the bagel shop. They're doing the same thing at bingo. They're doing the same thing everywhere they go. Now, if I tell you that satisfied customers, if we get to trust on that customer satisfaction pyramid and we satisfied customers will refer 2 to 3 new customers every year to your repair shop. Think about what a satisfied Quadrant 3 customer will do. A satisfied Quadrant 3 customer may refer 5 to 6 new customers a year to you because everywhere they go, they're talking. So the time you spend with a Quadrant 3 customer that needs a slower transaction and they need a connection to people is well worth it because it will pay you incredible dividends. Now, as much of a challenge as they are at the service counter to deal with because those conversations can get so long and you're at the point where you're leaning and you're nodding and you're talking and maybe you're trying not to fall asleep, as painful as that can be, you can use that individual. Because that individual is going to have a little more patience with you. And you can use them to help manage that pile of customers at your service counter. We'll talk more about that in just a couple of segments. But Quadrant 3 customers, slower transactions, people, give them time, give them information, show and tell with them. Take them out into the shop. Accompany them to their vehicle. Show them what's wrong. Show them how it went wrong. And show them what you're going to do to fix it. They will appreciate the connection. And that connection that you form with them will allow them to talk about your shop and your customer service, your levels of customer satisfaction, everywhere they go. Think about it. Quadrant 4 is next.